Mary, Queen of Scots, some weird makeup, and a guy that just ate too much and he can't even get on his horse anymore. That's right, guys, it's time for the top 10 messed up things the Tudors did. Number 10, chop chop. It's pretty difficult to talk about the Tudors without a little controversy. When you talk about King Henry VIII, for example, it's hard not to talk about him getting divorced and how he chose to go about it. And if you didn't know, it was beheading, a lovely royal European tradition. Basically, when old Henry wasn't getting his way or was in heat for someone else's whap, he wanted a divorce, and sometimes the church just wouldn't grant him the separation he was looking for. So, instead, he separated his wife's head from her body after accusing poor Anne Boleyn of adultery. Poor Anne Boleyn. Number 9. Father Neptune. This might come as a surprise, but Great Britain didn't always have the strongest navy on earth. Henry VIII is considered to be the father of the Royal Navy. He commissioned the construction of many ships, largely increasing the size of the navy. He did his best to find the best shipbuilders and use tax money to fund the project. He also began to set up naval infrastructure and culture, with schools of navigation being opened, and set away lands for docks to improve the effectiveness of the navy. And this was a great start, because when you fast forward a few hundred years, Great Britain had the strongest navy in the world, and that is what helped them conquer so many lands. Number 8. Fitzroy and sister. Royal families have weird bloodlines. I'm sure you guys know that by now, but I mean, come on, it's a little crazy. Looking at a royal family tree is like trying to decipher some of my high school essays. You gotta look at it for a while before you know what's going on. Sorry, Mrs. M. We all know that sometimes royals like to do weird things in their love lives, like marrying your sister or your brother to keep the bloodline pure and royal. But forcing your kids to marry because you need a male heir pronto is messed up. Yeah, at one point Henry VIII in his portly glory wanted an heir so bad he was going to make one of his many kids from his many mistresses marry one another. Thank God his son Fitzroy rushed into another marriage, most likely to avoid marrying his half-sister. Why cross the street when you can cross the hall is probably something Henry thought, and you know what? I sent a telegram to the chief last night, it got back to me, told me it wasn't it. Number 7, the royal crane. I relate to this one. Being a big boy is hard sometimes. People might want to pick on you in the schoolyard. You get excited at the sight of food, and the worst noise known to humankind is the Fitness Gram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test that progressively gets more difficult as it continues. Oh yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. But besides being an overweight teen in high school, King Henry VIII had his own issues. While not being a beefy boy in his youth, once he had become the tyrannical king he's remembered for, well, he wasn't doing P90X. Being the faux chonker that he was, poor King Henry could no longer mount his noble steed without assistance. That assistance would come in the form of a crane would hoist the old boy up and into his saddle. Number 6. You up? I know I'm mad dissing King Henry here, and I know there's other Tudors, but this guy's just really messed up. Here's something for our younger audience. We've all been there. So, the King of England had a few wives. Dude must have been slick with the ladies, right? Wrong. Honestly, dude's super cringe. I believe the term used for a man like this would be a waste youth. I bring this up because the love letters he wrote to his mistresses are on the same equivalent as the you up text, which the ladies of my generation will tell you is the most romantic thing a guy could say, especially on a school night at 3 a.m. In one of the love letters to his dearly decapitated Anne Boleyn, he protests the urge to kiss her duckies, which you can probably tell what part of her body that is. It's this part. Number 5, Bloody Mary. Her name isn't Sweet Mary, is it? Yeah, that's right. Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. Oh, we're good. Okay, just checking. Most known for attempts at reversing the English Reformation, tried her very best to restore the papal order, and had over 300 people burned at the stake for being so-called heretics, which, if you ask me, sounds like the worst possible way to die. Mary was overshadowed by her sister, which, now coming to think of it, could be the reason why she was so pale. I'm just kidding, but being stuck in someone's shadow sucks. Kinda makes me mad, actually. All of a sudden I want to burn someone alive. Anybody got a match? Number 4. Hey Alexa, can you translate this for me? Being a Tudor is a big deal, right? And being on the royal throne of England is also a big deal, right? So obviously our Majesty can read and write in English, right? Well, no, actually, he cannot. A more forgettable member of the Tudors is Philip II of Spain. He was the husband of Mary I and was officially recognized as the King of England. To not do so would be considered to be treason. The man also had his face on some coins, and if that's not official, I don't know what is. Someone put me on a coin. However, the biggest irony and the most messed up thing, if you really think about it, is that Philip did not speak or read a word of English. Oftentimes, when he was tending to matters of state, documents had to be printed in either Latin or Spanish in order for him to understand or even act on them. Honestly, if he can get away with that, then I'm proclaiming right now, I'm the king of Iceland. I don't speak Icelandic, but I'm the king. What's up, guys? How you doing? I'm the king now. Number 3, rebellion crusher. Henry VII, turns out, wasn't such a great guy either. Having taken the throne after Richard III fell in battle, not everyone was so cool with him taking the reins, as he had a lot of rebellion crushing to do. People were upset. Suppress the rebellion. Can't trust your own court? Suppress them too. As it turns out, he was kind of a mama's boy, and his mother would often influence his political doings. But the worst thing he did was lock up a cousin of his enemies who was only 10 years old at the time. He stayed in this tower locked up until his manual unaliving day at 24. It's just a nice family. Gosh. Number 2, lethal R&D. Sometimes when you're at the top of your game, people want to take you down. A common assassination method in ye olde times was poison. So to prevent that from happening, King Henry and many kings before him had someone testing food for him. But unlike other kings, King Henry was not just testing his food, but his bed. Yeah, kings were worried that simply touching some poisons was enough to send you to the kingdom in the sky. So the poor sap who made the king's bed in the morning had to pucker up and kiss his bed, just to make sure that no one had put anything fishy in his bed. The cushion on his chamber pot was also checked before a royal bowel movement. That is so disgusting, okay. Kiss my toilet, peasant! Check for poisons. Sir, did you have pheasant last night? You know what I mean? Number 1, face off. After Queen Elizabeth's face was scarred from smallpox, she wanted the Maybelline look again. Too bad that modern makeup companies didn't exist, because the alternative was just straight messed up. Her makeup was a lovely smelling concoction of vinegar and lead. I'll say that again, vinegar and lead. I don't even know how a human would come to even combine those two together. Lead being lead is toxic, and after being constantly applied to the face like that, well, she didn't live as long as Betty White did. Rest in peace, Betty White. Also, vinegar. Bathing was an issue back in the day, and having vinegar put on your face every day, well, that just must have made her pillows smell like roses. I feel bad for the guys that kiss her bed. Ooh. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for me today. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe here at Bumblebee. If you also think vinegar and lead is a weird combo, check out my socials in the link down below. And stay sweet, my little honeybees. P90X. Alright. Jedi. It's just gonna be my thing. I'm just gonna, yes.
You don't think any excuse to do it more?
That's honestly, I'm gonna end every video. I'm gonna just do Emperor Palpatine. Every video. Yes, you must hunt down the WAP. Unlimited WAP. Let's try this again. Hey Alexa, can you translate this for me? That's gonna turn on somebody's Alexa, which will be very funny.